After over 6 months of strike by ASUU, some state universities are gradually pulling out of the struggle embarked upon to pressure the federal government into meeting the demands of the university lecturers. Will this development reduce the straits of ASUU before the federal government? And will there be any consequence for universities that have opted out of the strike? I'm Leslie Eluchi. You're watching Report on ITV.
Well, it is not new, because normally in management, they are always what we call the Vanda rule, and it never lasts. And I want to congratulate the ASUU, who has been consistent in their demand. They are not selfish. They are not fighting for their own personal salary. They are fighting for wherefore we have solid education, a conducive area of learning, and that the university also should be financially autonomous, because that is their struggle, that's their demand. It has been year in, year out, and they don't have, they are adamant, because what is going on is you can eluded money, about some trillions can be recovered, and you are now using for what have been appropriated for, because I think that's what the political future they are planning for campaign. Why can't you use that money for the ASUU demands to cushion the Fed, to allow our children that have been wandering instead of 6 months, 6 months, they are now 1 year at home doing nothing. Some would have graduated since 2 years ago, but it is strike and strike over one matter. So I think the struggle is a struggle. It continues. Nobody can break it. That's number one. When you now have a dissident or people that are, we call them sellout, they sell out for a purpose, for their selfish end, they will still come back have the same problem, because there's no how they cannot be independent without ASUU. Even when they pull out, and I know the government may hurriedly grant them permission to unionize and all that. But at the end, it never stands. But all this, when two elephants fight, who suffer? It's the grass. It's the parents. The parents are not suffering. The parents who are supposed to cry out and protest for their own children, they are pursuing politics up and down. And that is why you find out some, even mothers, want to be spokesperson for women affairs. The purpose of being a woman will not pursue. Those are their children. Because they are the future. They are the hope of our children, are the hope of their parents. So for this, I think the struggle continues, and those who have opted out from ASUU, they will regret it, because the same yardstick you used for the first wife, with the same yardstick you are still going to use for this new one. So whatever romance is going on, it's just romance of confidence that will soon break off.
Cannot weaken ASUU stand at all. If it will take only one person to save this country, the person should go ahead, whoever has been anointed to deliver Nigeria. Because what ASUU is fighting for is germane. There's nothing wrong with what ASUU is fighting for. So if all of them pulls out, many of us will remain. Even at the threat to our life, we don't mind. And maybe even fighting with the least pint of blood remaining in our bodies. So it cannot weaken ASUU's result. That is, we have to ask ourselves, is what ASUU really asking for? That is one of the problems I'm beginning to develop with the media, to find out where does the media belong in all these feuds or imbroglio with government. Are we trying to demarket ASUU, or we should teach Nigerians on how to protest anything that is wrong? It's because Nigerians cannot protest. That is why this government continue the way unending the way they are doing. Somebody started the Arab Spring, only one little ball and all that. So we will stay. It cannot weaken our resolve at all.
The government should look into this matter in a very positive way, because the strike has been on for a long time, and this is a repeated exercise by subsequent government and government, so to speak. But the real thing is that ASUU themselves should be cautioned because they are taking it politically now. They are looking at this is that all the next thing, the weapon they have is just go on strike. They are not. They don't remember that these children also have a stake. That instead of spending 3 years, they end up spending 7 years. Instead of spending 4 years, they end up spending another 10 years. Nobody is interested in what they are doing actually. They should find a way to resolve the issue. They should sit with the government, have a lasting solution to this problem because it's affecting the nation, affecting us internationally, affecting us locally, affecting us in all areas, especially with the parents. You send your child to school to spend 3 years. You try to gather money to make sure that they are within the period of time that they have to spend in the school. Instead of spending the numbers of years they are supposed to spend, they end up spending extra this thing. And sometimes the children stay in the house doing nothing, without anything, without any compensation. So we are asking the ASUU people to also shift swords. It's a welcome development for the state universities to pull out because the ASUU are not helping anything. They are not helping the issues. And they are saying that most of the governors are the ones that are instigating them to pull out. I don't buy that idea because when you are doing a thing that is not beneficial to anybody, then the next thing is for him to take a decision, either to remain or to pull out. I think the stand of the state universities is a very welcome development, and I commend them a lot that they should pull out instead of wasting the children's time and keeping them at home doing nothing.
A luta continua is a Portuguese phrase which means the struggle continues. That is a common slogan for trade unions and their affiliates. But as it concerns the ongoing ASUU strike, it seems the struggle has ended for some universities, which have been considered a sort of betrayal by some respondents. But for another, it is time it happens so students can go back to school. I'm blessing you.